If you have been struggling with your dog's behavior and you found yourself thinking, man, I've tried everything with this dog, we've tried training, we've looked up stuff online, we've watched YouTube videos, and just nothing works, you're not alone. And here's what I want you to hear. It's not because you're a bad owner. It's not because you have a bad dog. It's not because you did your training wrong. It's because you were trying to train without a system. In this channel, going forward, and in this video here today, I'm going to teach you my entire system that I base my training program around, that I've spent 20 years refining and improving. Along the way, you will start to see why your training has not worked up until this point. I'm Jeff, the owner of Paradigm Canine. I've been a professional dog trainer for the last 20 years. In that time, I've trained puppies, adult dogs, rescues, reactive dogs, aggressive dogs, deaf dogs, blind dogs, everything under the sun imaginable. In that time, I've seen the same pattern over and over and over again. The owners are trying hard, the dogs are trying hard, but the system they're using is incomplete. In this channel going forward, I'm going to teach you guys step by step the exact system that I use so you guys can get the dog that you always knew you had. Training does not fall apart just because you taught something wrong. It falls apart because you taught on top of no structure, no clarity, a lack of communication, and a general misunderstanding of how dogs think and how they learn. A lot of people are unknowingly trying to build a foundation on top of sand, and it always falls apart as soon as things get hard. So I built a system that fixes that foundation before you even get to the fancy stuff. I call it the 4 pillars, and I'm going to break that down now. Pillar 1, fit, means where your dog belongs in your home. We want to teach your dog how to live in your home before we teach them how to perform in your home. And we're going to explain what that means here in a little bit. But you need to teach your dog what areas are for them, what areas are not. Where do I eat? Where do I sleep? Where do I go to the bathroom? Where do I play? Where do I train? Where do I relax? All these things are equally important, and more important than just defining those areas is you have to define what rules you want to exist in those areas, what rules surround their eating area. This gets more and more important if you have more than one dog as well. At the end of the day, a dog that understands their environment and knows what to expect, they're a dog that they stop pacing, they can settle, they're not anxious, and they can relax because they know where they belong and where they fit in. Structure takes the areas you identified in Pillar 1, where your dog fits in the home, what areas are for them, and it builds on that and teaches the dog how to exist in those areas. Structure is the daily rhythm and routines that you follow on a daily basis. Dogs like to know what to expect, and they like predictability. If you have the same rhythm and routines on a daily basis, you are far less likely to have a dog that has a lot of anxiety and uncertainty and low confidence and things like that. Having clear structure answers a lot of questions that a dog has as far as like what their day-to-day is going to be like. Where do I go to the bathroom and when's that going to happen? What's the potty, crate, feeding routine look like? When do I get to play? How do I get to play? Where do I get to play? And what rules surround that? When is freedom earned? How do I earn freedom? How long will it last? Structure is the rhythm of your household. It is the pattern that your dog can depend on. If you don't have that, you have unpredictable behaviors out of the dog because your routines are unpredictable to the dog. When their life is predictable, dogs stop acting out because of stress and anxiety and over-arousal and things like that. Pillar 3, skills. This is the fun stuff. This is what everybody wants to hurry up and get to. This is the obedience training. Obedience training is supposed to be a communication system that we teach our dogs so that we can tell them yes versus no, what I want versus what I don't want. Having these skills in place, this solid communication system that we teach the dogs that we train, it gives you the ability to take the rules that we create in Pillar 1 and fit, and the routines and rhythms we teach in Pillar 2, structure, and be able to actually communicate that to the dog, what we want them to do and when we want them to do it in a way the dog can actually understand. Pillar 4, mindset, is one of the most important ones to me. I mean, I call them pillars, not stepping stones or steps or anything like that, because all 4 of them have to be in place in order for you to see long-term success. But if you don't know how to think like a trainer, you don't have to learn how to be a trainer necessarily. If you hire a trainer to train the obedience, that's just fine. But you need to learn how to think like one. You need to learn how to troubleshoot and problem solve. What do you do if the dog makes a mistake? Just because they have these skills that were taught, just because they know how to sit and how to stay.
All right, Sonny.
But They
You're
don't,
on video, Sonny.
because
Don't muck
their
this up.
favorite person just came over to your house and you told them to sit, and they're wagging their tail and their butt's wiggling and they want to hop up and run over to the door, and they got up. What do? Do you just let it happen and let the dog learn that they don't have to listen to you if they really, really, really want something else? Do you know how to get the dog back into the position that they were supposed to be in a way that the dog actually understands and they can learn a lesson for the next time? Can you do that in a way that's not stressful to you or the dog?
It worked.
These are the things that really set good training apart from bad training. If a dog trainer does not teach their client how to think like this and how to troubleshoot and like how to problem solve when the dog makes a mistake, how to fix it so it becomes a learning opportunity versus a failure, if you don't know how to do that, you will not see success. So you have to shift your mindset and start to think like, how do I operate this dog? I taught the dog how to do these things, but just because they can do it in this environment in my living room, does that necessarily mean that I can take them to a park where there's a bunch of dogs running around and get the same results? Probably not. But if you know how to handle mess ups and things so that it becomes that teaching opportunity, then you're all good. It's going to be fine, and your dog is going to be better for it, and you guys will get better and better and better the more you expose them to things. If you don't know how to handle that and you take the dog out to a park and they just blow off your commands, then what you're communicating to the dog is you only have to listen to me when it's convenient for you. When you follow this system, fit gives your dog clarity about where they belong. Structure gives your dog predictable routines that will help keep them calm. Skills are the communication system that we use to teach and enforce the rules, and mindset gives you the ability to effectively troubleshoot and lead and problem solve. That is where training starts to stick. That's where behaviors change. That's what sets you up for success and gives you the confidence that you can handle everything that life's going to throw at you. And ultimately, that's what makes the obedience reliable. If training hasn't worked for you before, you weren't the problem. Your system was. On this channel, I'm going to break down every pillar, every technique, every drill, every mindset shift that you need to have success. If you want to learn how to understand your dog and actually get reliable obedience that's going to last, go ahead and subscribe. We're just getting started.